I'm Miranda. I go to La Miranda High School and I'm in the Apple Academy. Today I'll be reading this book called Skippyjonjones by Judy Scanch. What do you guys notice on the cover? I noticed that there's a cat, a plant, and a bee. What do you guys think this book is going to be about? I think it's going to be about this cat right here, so let's get to reading. Skippyjonjones by Judy Scanchner. Every morning, Skippyjonjones woke up with the birds, and this did not please his mother at all. "Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Birches," ordered Mama Junebug Jones. "No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds," she scolded, "or ate worms, or flew, or did his laundry in Mrs. Doohiggy's bird bath." Asher went on and on, as usual. "You've got to do some serious thinking before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants," said his mother, "about just what it means to be a cat. Not a bird, not a mouse, or a grouse. Not a moose or a goose, not a rat or a bat. You need to think about just what it means to be a Siamese cat. And stay out of your closet," she added, closing the bedroom door. Now we're at the part of the book where Skippyjonjones just got sent to his room by his mom because he was causing trouble. So do you guys think that Skippyjonjones is going to stay in his room put, or he's going to start messing around? I think that he's going to start messing around. But once he was alone, Skippyjonjones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy head. "Oh, I'm Skippyjonjones, and I bounce on my bed, and once or 6 times I land on my head." On his way down to earth from a gigantic big bounce, Skippyjonjones shot past his bedroom mirror. "Holy guacamole!" exclaimed Skippyjonjones. "What was that?" So he went up again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, "My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua." Back on land, Skippyjonjones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. After he put on his mask and sword and climbed onto his mouse, Skippyjonjones began to sing in a muy soft voice. "My name is Skipito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. My manners are mellow, I'm sweet like jello. I get the job done, yes indeedo." Back in the kitchen, Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jilly Boo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. "Can Skippyjon come out of his room now?" asked Jujubee. "No," answered Mama Junebug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking." In fact, Skippyjon wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. Walking to his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road, far away in Old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a misterioso band of Chihuahuas appeared out of the dust. "Ay caramba, who goes there?" asked Skippyjonjones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangos," growled Don Diego, "the biggest of the small ones. Who are you?" "I'm El Skipito, the great sword fighter," said Skippyjonjones. Then the smallest of the small ones spoke up. "Why, the mosquito, dude," said Poquito Tito. "I go incognito," said Skipito. "Do you like rice and beans?" asked Pintolito. "Sí, I love mice and beans," said Skipito. "He might be the dog of our dreams," whispered Rosalita. "Perhaps," said Tia Mia, "if he knows the secret password." Leaning toward Don Diego, El Skipito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large ear. "Ah, chupichu." "Bless you," said Don Diego. "Gracias," said Skipito. "It's true," decreed Don Diego. "Yip, yippee, yippito. It's the end of Alfredo Busito. Skipito is here. We have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad bumbolito." Then all of the chimichangos went crazy loco. First, they had a fiesta. Then, they took a siesta. But after waking up, the chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great bumbolito for Skipito to see. A hush grew over the chimichangos, so great that one could hear a whisker drop. "Alfredo Busito," whispered the crowd. "El blimpo, bumblebito, bandito." "Sí," said Poquito Tito. "El bandito steals our frijoles." "Not your beans," cried Skipito, outraged. "Sí," Poquito continued. "Red beans, black beans, Boston baked, and blue, cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto, and jelly too. And now he comes for us," Poquito added. "Por qué?" asked Skipito. "Because we are full of the beans too." Then Don Diego stood tall in his most somber voice declared, "Yo quiero frijoles." "Huh?" asked Skipito. "The dude just wants his beans back," said Poquito Tito. "And you are the dog for the job." "Me?" asked Skipito. Then all the chimichangos turned towards Skipito. the great sword fighter. But poor Skippito had no time for a plan, because in the blink of an eye a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape. The chimichangos scattered in all directions. Vamos, Skippito, or to the bandito ulito, they cried. Skippito stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook like the jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanets. Then in a muy soft voice he said, "My name is Skippito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito." Alfredo Busito flew straight for Skippito until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face. "Holy frijoles!" cried Skippito as he thrust his sword in the air. Now we're at the part in the story where Skippyjonjones is going against El Bandito. Do you guys think that he's going to be able to defeat El Bandito? I think he is, and I think he's going to be able to help all his friends. Suddenly, pop went the Bandito, landing on Skippito's sword, and quicker than one could say chihuahuas, cheese, and crackers, every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Busito, the Bumblebito Bandito. All the doggies burst into song. Yippee, yippee, yippito. Our hero is El Skippito. He is the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans, and now we can make our burritos. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippy Jones' room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall to the kitty boys' room. Banguito, Crashito, Papinto, Skippito. Just in time to see Skippy John's closet exploding. Then out flew Candy, beanbag doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. "Skippyjonjones!" everyone cried. "Hola, muchachitas," he said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up Skippy John and covered his head with furry purry kisses. "What am I going to do with you, Mr. Cocoa Pugs?" she scolded. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippy John began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm Skippyjonjones, with a mind of my own, and I'll bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but I forget about that." "Say goodnight, Skippyjonjones," called his mama. "Buenas noches, mis amigos," said Skippyjonjones. So after reading this story, do you guys think that Skippyjonjones is going to see his friends, the chimichangas, again? I think he is. I think the lesson of this book is that we all have a really big imagination and we should use it to our best ability, like he did. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the story, and bye!